Hello again, everyone. Today I am doing another resin project, this really cute little mushroom mold box. And I am using the dark sugar mica powder and some flowers, some dried flowers that I got on Amazon, which I will link in the description. So I'm going to do a little painting with mica. So I'm using one of those little floofs again, and I was told that they are, what are they called? Mini brushes or something. Oh my goodness, I forgot again. I don't know why I can't remember what those things are called. Anyway, I love them. I will link those in the description as well. They have little poofs on the end, and they are perfect for painting the inside of your molds like this. So this is a sped up video, but I just wanted to show you, just dip it in the mica powder and you can paint whatever you want on there, just straight on the mold. There's nothing I did to this mold beforehand. It's just straight on the mold where I would like the little bits of color to be. And it does kind of get a little messy depending, and don't push too hard on your mold. These little poofs at the end, micro brushes, I think they're micro brushes. Anyway, those little poofs on the end, don't really scratch the mold unless you push really hard. So when working with mica powder, it's powder. You're going to get it everywhere. So a little bit of this tape, some tape, will get that off real well. You just take the sticky side, press it on your mold. It works if you get dust, cat hair, dog hair, whatever gets in your mold. If you don't want it in your final project, use some tape. So I'm using this mica again, the dark sugar, and I'm stirring it in, and I'm going to do a little bit different than I usually do. And I just love how this mica powder swirls. Just look at it. Oh my gosh. This is my favorite part, is stirring. I know that sounds crazy, but stirring the mica powder in is just so satisfying. So I'm using 3 different things. I'm going to do just plain white, clear, and the dark sugar, plus the flowers that I'm going to stick in here. So these are flowers, dried flowers that I got on Amazon, and I'm just basically, no rhyme or reason, shoving them in. So I stick them in there just wherever I think they need to look good. I'm not being too crazy careful. They are dried flowers, so they're a little bit fragile, but you can just stick them in there. And that's what I did, just stuck it in there. They're going to squeeze up against the side because of the little inner thingy that makes the box part. So I'm just kind of pushing that aside and stucking the dried flowers in. You can use whatever kind of dried flowers you want. These are just, I thought they looked kind of fall-like, kind of autumn, and I thought they would look good. And you can kind of see through the mold where they're placed and what places need a little bit extra. So just kind of doing that. There's really no art to it. Just kind of putting things in there and hoping they look good, basically. And I did put some in the top. I don't necessarily think you need to do this. Those were not really seen. Flowers float up to the top because they're dry and you're putting them in something liquid. And they ended up floating to the top, and you really couldn't even see any of the flowers when we demolded, which we'll see at the end, but don't do that. I did, and I wasted some flowers. They look cool if you know they're in there, but you can't really see them very well. But anyways, so those are getting stuck in there. And now I'm going in with some clear. And I'm just kind of putting some clear and letting it flow down in there. I'm not doing too much. I want the dried flowers to kind of get a little bit saturated so that hopefully there won't be a whole bunch of bubbles. Anytime you put things in your resin, especially flowers, there's going to be pockets where the air bubbles are going to want to stay. So I'm just hitting it, getting a little rough, kind of squeezing, not squeezing too hard because I don't want to, ruin all the flowers and squish them into bits. A little more clear. Now, if I was smart, I would have probably let this become a little bit harder before I put the other stuff in. So I probably should have mixed up the clear, put a little clear in there, let it harden for a little bit, and then put the other colors in. But this is what I did, so we'll just show you that. So I'm putting in the color. I chose this color because I thought it looked very fall-like, very fun. I thought it would flow around the flowers and kind of encase them in beautiful fall colors with some little sheen of the mica. And then a little bit of white. The white will kind of help break everything up a little bit, add a little bit of interest. And I'm really not doing anything too exciting. There's no rhyme or reason. I'm just placing the colors on the sides so they sort of can meld together, mix together a little bit, but not become muddy. I want some clear. I want a little spots of the white to go through the clear, kind of look cloudy and wispy, and then the darkness, the dark color. And look at all those air bubbles that are coming out. So I'm kind of squishing along the way, trying to get the resin to move around the flowers and not create a whole bunch of air. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe so that I can continue to make new videos. A lot of my videos have become a little bit more popular lately, so I'm really excited that people are enjoying my videos. And if you would like and subscribe, that would be great, and it'd help get my videos out there a little bit more. So doing a little tappy tap, trying to get the bubbles out. Bubbles are probably the worst part of putting flowers in things because definitely there will be bubbles. And you can see that I'm trying to push those flowers down because they're starting to float up in the lid. So here we are 24 hours later. And this is a sped up video also. This video would have been really, really long if I kept it regular pace. So getting this out of the mold isn't too bad. But oh my gosh, look at it. I love the way it looks. I wish the flowers would have poked out a little bit more, but look at it. You can kind of see it and it looks wonderful. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you can see the flowers. Yay. I wish you could see them a little more. I probably added a little bit too much of the brown. So next time, less brown. And there's a little bubble there if you can see it. But that's it. I was pleased, so pleased that it wasn't just full of bubbles. I was so happy with the outcome of that. And then here's the lid. The lid didn't come out as great as I wanted it. The flowers all floated to the top. As you can see, all of them in that little spot there. But the white kind of did a thing that I think I like. And then there is the mica powder spots that I did. And then, oh, look at those bubbles. So many bubbles rose to the top and they had nowhere to escape and they got caught in that lip. So here's me fixing that. I'm just taking some UV resin and filling those bubbles up. So making sure not to overfill those bubbles. I don't want a dome. And then I sanded down the bottom and I'm going to do a little top coat of the UV resin to hide those sanding marks and make it look beautiful and sparkly again and shiny. And this is the UV resin that is by JDiction. It's the high viscosity. It's a perfect doming resin. And I just put enough on, and then I will take one of those micro brushes and kind of flatten it out, let it find its own level a little bit, and then move it to the edges so that it looks just a little bit more clean and perfect and hides all that scratch marks that you do when you sand. When you sand resin, it just makes it frosty and you can see the scratch marks and it's just not pretty. Nobody wants that. So I cover it with UV resin. You could polish it and do all that, but that just takes too much time. It's just so much easier to cover it with UV resin, let it sit, let it degas a little bit. It really fixes just so many problems, so many issues. I love UV resin and You can add a little bit more, like I needed a little bit more after I spread it out, so you can stick it on there. It finds its own level. It's a perfect doming resin. It makes your projects just pop and look a lot more professional. So here I am fiddling with it some more. And it's kind of fun to play around in it too. And the flowers do look cool when you look at it from the bottom. I just wish they wouldn't have floated. But here's the finished product. I still think it looks great. This piece actually did sell at the craft show. It was one of the only things that sold really well at the craft show. Thanks for watching. Bye.